Our meeting is being live streamed. Perfect.
All right, so YouTube. Let's see. YouTube should be coming up. There's YouTube. Um, there's YouTube. Okay, and there might be times where I actually do a secondary recording because some of this content, if it's demos, might get into videos later. So
Yeah,
I might be doing some secondary recording.
totally.
Um,
Just tag us if you post it somewhere, and
I will.
do you mind if
Well,
I
it'll go on
say?
my YouTube.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Do you want me to introduce what we're doing real quick or
yeah,
say
go
anything?
ahead and let's get
Okay.
started. What time is it? Let me see.
I don't know.
It's 9:55. Let's wait till 10. So everyone on YouTube, we're streaming. We're gonna wait till 10 when we actually
Okay.
start this thing.
Hopefully
And
people have seen my messaging. For anybody who has just clicked onto this, it's Learn to Code Tuesdays, and we're back from our summer break. So
yep.
if you've got the Zoom link, feel free to come join us on the Zoom side. If you don't have that link, then continue watching on YouTube Live. Or if you're watching this after the fact later, come join us live on Taylor Arndt's YouTube every Tuesday at 10 Central Time here in America. But if you've got the Zoom link for the Zoom side and you've lost it, or you've been here previously and you lost that link, send us a message and we'll send it back to you. But only if you're known to us, like we don't do bombers on
No.
Zoom, right? Like we don't do Zoom spam. So, but legitimately,
We've got a chat.
sweet.
Francis says, "Hey,
Hi,
so welcome,
Francis.
Francis, to this stream. We're gonna be talking about GitHub Copilot. It's also my birthday today,
Happy
and we're gonna be
birthday,
talking.
Taylor.
Thank you. And we're gonna be talking about possibly a free code camp Q&A, depending on time. We're gonna be also talking about convention recap with the exhibit booth. So we've got a lot on our schedule today. I know we've got Michael here and potentially when Jeff Bishop comes.
And we got
Um,
David here
yeah,
too.
David as well.
David's an awesome tech savvy guy in his own right, aren't you, man?
Francis would like the Zoom link. So what you guys can do if you would like it, I'm going to be posting an email address in chat. Please email that email address and you'll be able to get the registration link to come on chat.
Right? Who are you gonna have them email, you or me?
You. Because you
Okay.
can watch the foundation email. So
Yeah,
I'm going
you're
to go
fine.
put
I
it in
just wanted
chat.
to know so I could pull it up.
Yep, I'm going to go put it in chat.
You're
But
good.
everybody's welcome to the Zoom link. So let me make sure I'm in the right email account. Or not email, the right account.
I
So you
just
guys
asked
can
so I could
email
pull
the
this up
email.
proper. Yeah, I can.
It's Laurel Wheeler Foundation at Gmail. So,
.com. Yep.
yep. So let me put that in chat. All you'll do is you'll just email and just say you want the Zoom link and we'll give it to you. You can register. And that's how it goes.
So Laurel, I wanted to let you know that Taylor made an, I don't know if you mentioned this, she made another 3D model keychain. I think we're going to try to make one change to it, but it actually is a Laurel Wheeler Foundation keychain. It looks
Oh, I love that.
amazing. It looks like the Learn to Code ones, but it has word wrap, so it has Laurel Wheeler on one line and Foundation on the next. So
Oh,
it
I
looks
love
really
that.
cool.
That's awesome. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Let's make sure that we get that up and we can help you sell that too. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And by the
Pretty
way,
much.
this is a free event. Nobody has to pay. Sorry, my
Right,
phone
like
alarm is
this
being
event
set.
right here is free. We're talking about something else
Yeah,
that, you know,
yeah.
we we've made. And nobody, I mean, look, donations are always appreciated to the foundation. And if you want to donate to support what we're doing, or Taylor, because she's so kindly donating 2 hours every Tuesday to help us out, you can. And if you specify in the memo line, learn to code, we'll make sure it goes towards that. So you for sure can. laurelwheelerfoundation.org is our website, and feel free if you want to make a donation, you absolutely can, but there's no obligation. You
Right.
don't have to. But if you do, we will not be unappreciative. We will be thankful. Okay, I'm watching the foundation email.
All right. So when she emails or he, like I said,
So
email that email.
If and when Francis emails us,
or others.
I will send a link.
But nobody has to pay for the Learn to Code event. We also have merchandise for our Learn to Code keychains on the Techopolis Creations website, and those are paid. So you have to pay the. I'll slip the link in chat so you guys can buy
Perfect.
those.
Hey
if you would
Taylor,
like.
check your messages real fast too.
Oh, great! I can do that.
Just real quick. I am watching the foundation email. I will respond as soon as I get it. Yeah, I'm excited about the keychain thing. That's cool. That's awesome. And I'm excited too because, like, just while we're chatting here and waiting to start, Grog released Grog 4.0. And I subscribe to Grog. I know it's Elon Musk and people have really strong opinions pro or against him. But I think Grog is an important tool to at least be familiar with. If you're blind, it's helpful in some ways. I think it's just as important to know about it as it is, okay. I think it's just as important to be familiar with Grog as it is to be familiar with GPT and Copilot and Gemini and all the other stuff. Anyway, they came out with their new 4.0 model. It's pretty interesting and pretty good. And I think GPT is going to roll out some new stuff soon. I know they rolled out a GPT agent. I don't know much about it yet.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, it's just a kind of a precursor to, stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting, I guess it's the summer season for interesting AI development.
Well, and there's one more that's really neat to discuss this morning as well, and that is what's coming from Apple, believe it or not, of all places, and that is their foundation models. We've had a chance to play with that and learn about that, and it's bigger than anybody can imagine.
What is it again?
Called
Sorry,
it's called
voiceover was screaming at me.
it's called Apple Foundation Models,
Ooh, nice.
and it is all on-device AI from Apple.
Hey, while we're sitting here, I had a thought yesterday. I thought it would be a fun little question to pose, kind of to wet our whistle and maybe spark a little fun conversation while we kind of give people an opportunity if they want to join. I was talking to someone yesterday. So my parents and I were driving down the street and we saw a bumper sticker in front of us and it had an interesting bird on it. And my parents were describing me the bird. They didn't know what it was. I literally queried GPT with a description of the bird, like, verbally, and it suggested it might have been a New Zealand kiwi, like a kiwi bird from that part of the world. So I got GPT to send me an image of that bird, and I sent it to my parents, and sure enough, it was. We were talking about how interesting it was. So, like, even 5 years ago, I'd have gone to Google or my Bing or whatever preferred search engine of choice on my phone, searched, and then had to sort through a dozen links, query, like click on one, read, and figure out if, it was the one I was looking for, right? And it would have taken a whole 8 minutes or whatever, probably until we got home, for me to even have an option. And it was interesting because in less than a minute and a half, I was able to get a full answer from GPT, and we were like, oh, sweet, yeah, that is the thing. And we were commenting that, I would be willing to bet that using search engines in the traditional way is dead in 5 years or less. Because, while we still need, like, to verify information because AI is not perfect and all of that good stuff, we need to verify everything. It's a whole lot quicker, and I mean, you can still get AI to show you your sources, verify, go to links, visit websites if you want to, but think about the impact that's going to have on SEO, on search ranking, on how people build their blogs or their websites and try to attract people. Because I don't know about you, but I don't use a traditional search engine hardly ever anymore, period.
Well, we already have a term for this. It's called AIO.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't. Hi, folks. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, it's not
Here,
lighting up.
let me-
Sorry, I'm just got a new MacBook Pro last week, and it's my first time on Zoom with it, so I'm still setting things up, what have you, yada yada. Yeah, no, I actually don't. Well, I do and I don't. It's like I use it, but I don't necessarily trust the results. And my friend Victoria's been using it actually this afternoon to look something up. In fact, just a few minutes ago. And obviously, there's stuff like tables and what have you, which I'm sure is a good way of laying stuff out. But again, if you're voiceovering, tables can be a bit, yeah. And there's been a lot of hallucination by AI as well. So I was using it to look up some Linux questions, and it was for a really old, okay, it was very niche use case scenario, but I was like, okay, I'm using Red Hat 5.2. How do I go about installing something? And it was like, oh, sure, you use DNF. And I'm like, okay, no, you don't. You've not used DNF. DNF is pretty new. And then it's like, oh, yes, that's right. DNF is brand new. So, but I don't know. It just doesn't.
And it depends on the model, and it depends on how you phrase your question. And also, like if it's ChatGPT, are you using paid or free?
I'm using a combination of free ChatGPT and Copilot and Google Gemini.
Because it depends. I've seen that there's definitely a difference between the free and the paid versions of ChatGPT and Gemini and others.
Hey,
And
Francis, I just responded to you, and you've got the registration link now. If you register, then you'll immediately be sent a automatic join link, and all we'll get from you is basically your name and email, which we already have. And we won't really use that unless we need to send you the link again someday or more info directly related to this. So anyway, I responded to you, and we'll see you shortly in the Zoom side. Anyway, sorry, I needed to just say that real quick.
no problem.
To respond to you, definitely listen. I'm a paid GPT and paid Grog subscriber. I've also noticed a big difference in, I'm sure that other people who pay for other models would say the same. I've noticed a difference, but I don't know. Like, you could say, well, I don't like, I've been sort of listening and obviously dealing with voiceover too. So if I miss something, sorry, but I know that like, you could say, well, we shouldn't trust AI fully. Well, that's true. We shouldn't fully trust AI. We should fully vet whatever information it's giving us. But with that said, you shouldn't fully trust Google search engine either. Like if you're searching for info, because everything is going to be ranked and prioritized, and Google's algorithm is going to push certain resources and certain perspectives or certain. I like to tell people, no matter what your political opinions are or life opinions are or perspective is, there's not an unbiased, search engine or, AI aggregate that's going to give you search results and data, right?
Right.
It's just not possible. And the reason is, I'm not, a conspiracy theorist or making a political jab at either side, left or right. It's simply because whether it's traditional search engines or AI, it's being shaped by humans, right?
Yeah.
And humans have opinions.
Everybody's biased, and that comes out in their
Exactly.
creation.
So I think that's why it doesn't matter if you're traditional search engine searching or if you're using social media to search or if you're AI searching. It's always really important to know how to verify that the information you're being given is correct. And that's why I like to have several different ways that whether it be GPT plus Google or GPT plus Grok or GPT plus Copilot or Gemini or I don't know, name a combo of things. I like to have a variety of ways to cross-reference and search info, because
yeah. And
so
and
like
this
that's what I would say to that,
and to all that as well, even back in 2017, Microsoft made a chatbot called Tay, Tay, and it was a very non-biased, completely neutral chatbot. And you could talk to it, and it would learn and get memories and things like that on Twitter and other places. Well, because of people doing malicious things, that chatbot started regurgitating hate speech and other things. And so these models, they try to train them based on information on the internet, but again, based on what training data is used and how these things are created, it will determine what outcomes they provide. For example, sometimes they use real data sets. Sometimes, like Apple is known for using synthetic data on theirs. So it depends on how something is trained as to the results of the model or thing that you're using.
Right. Well, then once the model goes live, how the model changes based on real input from real people, right? Because you might even train it, like you just said, totally neutrally, and then once it gets released, it might go off the rails depending on how it responds to, live input from people.
Actually, models have to be retrained.
Yeah,
they cannot learn based on input from users. What happens is that input and output from users is recorded and used in the next training
I got you.
of the model, but models are pretty static.
Gotcha.
Now, one thing that's also interesting is ChatGPT and others use what's called memory,
Oh, yeah.
which saves data from your sessions. And so if you start to see a bias towards certain data, it's because the model is using the memory of your previous conversations to formulate results based on what it thinks that you would want to see.
Right. So, but I think it's always important, like I said, to always emphasize to people, like, whether you're looking up something political. Here's the other thing, too. We all have the ability to get stuck in our own echo chamber. So as soon as we read something that GPT or some AI model or even Google searching gives us back that we tend to agree with, we're like, oh, this must be right. Like I said, it's always important, no matter what you're looking up, even if it's not political, even if it's just like I'm getting into ham radio. Okay, that's a totally other topic that we won't be discussing here. Okay, but I am using AI to help me research and learn about antenna models, best antenna designs to reach different radio, listening and shortwave and ham radio and UHF and all the things I want to participate in, right? But I am learning, and I literally can verify this with concrete examples. But, I knew this before, but it's interesting because this is a real life application for me, okay? AI does not always generate the right perfect answer to start with. It's pretty good, but I noticed that sometimes if I ask it the same question on different days, or if I phrase the question slightly worded differently, I'm going to get very different results. And so, that being said, it's always really important, like I said, once you get information, no matter what it's over, on AI, if you're truly trying to learn or teach yourself or research or form an opinion with it, like even if you're just researching a news story or whatever you're doing, if you're doing it for anything other than entertainment purposes and you're using it for a serious purpose or to try to form an opinion about something or verify something, like I said, always, check the sources and or double or triple check from reliable sourcing, whatever it's giving you, But
do you mind if I talk for a minute about the foundation models that we're
Joe, go for it.
that I mentioned?
Here, because it's after 10, let me just, do you
Yeah,
mind if
can
I
we
just
do an introduction? That'd
Yeah,
be
let me
great.
just
Yeah, we're well after 10 now.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm super excited to see everybody. Melissa, I'm super excited to see you back. I got to move over to the window so I
Francis,
don't
welcome.
forget people. But guys, I'm super excited to see many of you back and some new people too. And so I'm Laurel Wheeler. For those who don't know me, I'm from the Laurel Wheeler Foundation. And we started this every Tuesday back in January with Taylor. We are doing Learn to Code Tuesdays. Originally, we were focusing hardcore on FreeCodeCamp.org's Learn to Code material, and it's still a great resource if you're learning coding. We still have a lot of people that are doing that. If we have time, we'll be doing some Q&A for that later. But we branch off into talking about everything from AI to, any kind of tech stuff. So we do this every Tuesday from 10 to noon Central Time. We've been blessed to have people from over a dozen countries over the months join us. So we're global. You can join us either live on YouTube or through registering for our Zoom. And like we've said a couple times, you can email me, laurelwheelerfoundation@gmail.com. And my name is Laurel. Last name is Wheeler, then the word foundation@gmail.com. No punctuation, all one word. If you want the link and you don't have it, and I'll be happy to provide you that. We just don't paste the link because we don't want to get Zoom bombed. But yeah, we do this every Tuesday. We're super thankful for the support of Taylor Arndt and Michael Doyce and Techopolis helping us co-lead, and everybody else who's joining us. It's a fun group, so welcome back. We had a summer break, accounting for the fact that a bunch of us were at conventions and frankly a little vacation after that. So we're back. We'll be here every Tuesday, and take it back away again, Taylor and Michael. I just wanted to intro us real quick.
And yep, today's my birthday.
Happy birthday. July's a great
Happy
month to be
birthday.
born.
Thank you.
I turned 34 earlier this month too, so yay for the birthday. girls.
Yay. And that's why I put on the YouTube, I put Learn to Code free code camp and my birthday special.
Yay!
So anyway, yes, welcome everybody from being back. Michael, you're gonna talk about foundation models. I'm gonna go ahead. So real quick, if you guys see me recording in Zoom, I am what I'm doing is some of this content might be in future videos so that you guys, Learn to Code can get spread over, different like topics so people can see what we do. And so I might be recording from time to time about certain topics that people might want to hear about later in a video form. So
Also, this is meant to be super interactive too, so
it
like
is.
if you're on the Zoom side, unmute yourself and chip in when you got something to say or a question or comment or anything. And if you're on the YouTube side, comment and interact, and Taylor will get and read your chats and we'll respond. So yeah, let's do it.
Michael, do you want to go talk about foundation
Sure.
models?
Yeah, dive back in, Michael. I didn't want to totally interrupt you. I
No,
just
that's
wanted
fine.
to, introduce what we're doing. So let's go.
So I wanted to mention foundation models because I think that it's going to be a bigger deal than what people really think. So Apple introduced Apple Intelligence last year, and it had varying levels of adoption, and some people liked it, some people hated it. They started with writing tools, gave us image playgrounds and other things, which were okay. They're not the greatest AI tools, but they exist. But this year, they're giving developers what's called foundation models, and I'm super excited about this. I have a chat application where you can directly talk to the model on the iPhone, and it's really neat just having a conversation with an AI model on your phone. Now, why is this important? Why is this neat? Well, it's infinite. You do not have limits to how much you can talk to your phone. So you can basically create an application that can talk to AI on your phone. And that's one of the projects we're making, but it goes even further than that. You can give it information through tools. So you can send it data through XML or JSON or other computerized techniques for sending data to AI, or you can even put it in Swift syntax, and the model will recognize what you're doing, and it can even give it back in a way that can be easily displayed in your apps. So the foundation models are really neat. It's a 3 billion parameter AI model that lives on your phone. There's even Apple's videos even talk about using it in multiple instances in one app. I mean, imagine that. An AI model that's on device that you could use for multiple instances. And an example of this is maybe you're creating a game and you can have the different characters of the game have their own unique personalities as their own instances of the Apple Intelligence Foundation models. And
Oh,
I think this is huge. So you could have a game where you can have dialogue, where you can have interactive chat with your non-playable characters, and the AI can use creative storytelling to be that character. Like you could have like maybe your character walks into a coffee shop and they can have a conversation with the barista, or they're out at the park and they meet other people doing things at the park, and they would all be different AI models or different, well, not models, different AI personalities using the same model on different threads and different sessions in your app. So this is going to be a big deal, I think, for people going forward that are building apps for iOS and iPad and Mac and all the Apple platforms. But beyond that, maybe you're not an app developer and you want to play with these same things. You can. And in fact, this way you get more options. So in the shortcut app, there is a action. I don't remember the action in the beta, but it will let you talk to your on-device model just the same way you can in the app. Or you can also talk to Apple's more advanced private cloud compute model as well. So there are so many new and interesting ways to use Apple's models that on Android, you need to use the cloud to even come close to working with. So, for example, maybe you're building a news app, right? You could take an article that you get from a news app and say, generate a summary of the article. And all of that would happen on device, guys, on device.
that's amazing.
So that's what's coming up for foundation models.
Michael, does that
Yeah,
mean
that's
you can have
truly awesome.
agents?
Technically, yes, you could have agents because with the foundation models, they can interact with Swift code. So you can have the agent give directions and then your app take action on those instructions.
How many sessions can you have at once?
They don't list a number.
Can you explain the context window? Isn't it like 4,000 something? Or is it 5,000?
4,096 tokens in the context window. A context window is how much can be stored in one session at a time. And it's 4,096 tokens. A token is the definition of about a word or more.
Right.
So it's
so
not just one character.
it's pretty good. So like, guys, for the heck of it, sometimes I do creative writing, but I'll do it like slowly, but over a period of weeks. I've absolutely run ChatGPT, for example, to its limit of 120,000 tokens on a long form story I wrote. And I actually did have like NPCs, like non-playable characters in it and all the, anyway. So what the point I'm making, 4,000 plus, 4,000 and whatever it was, tokens is quite good when you're talking about a brand new product and the length of a conversation you could have before it kind of forgets or spaces it. Like once you hit the token limit on a lot of these models, it's hard to continue after that easily. It's better to create a new window and keep going somewhat.
Apples will
This is
just
great.
error out.
Yeah,
Apples will error out. And so what you have to do is manage your sessions.
Right.
And
You
there's
have to
some
exactly.
what you can do is you could take the instructions of the beginning of the session and then put them in a new session, or you
Right.
could summarize the old session, like
In the
actually
new.
create a new session to
Right.
summarize the old and then
Exactly.
start anew. So there's ways around.
Yeah, there's ways you can work around all of that.
Mhm.
But my point is that, man, so like, because I like put models to the test, 4,000 for, something that's just getting started, that's really good.
And on
Yeah.
your device. No
Yeah,
limits.
right on your device. That's awesome.
So we'll be
do-
having a
Somebody asked a
beta of
question
that.
in Zoom. Jay asked, oh, I got to navigate over there because,
Do
I read it.
foundation models, are they multimodal?
Yeah.
Not as of yet, but you can make them multimodal by adding your own voice mode, adding your own transcription and other things. So you'd have to build it out, but you could do that.
Wait a minute, they don't do images?
Foundation models do not. You'd have to use other AI frameworks that are not related to foundation models.
Okay.
But
Francis
you could
has,
still, if you're building an app and all, you could tie a bunch of that into your app.
you can.
Yeah. So it would be interesting though if someday they ended up adding that.
I think they do have that, but it's just under a different library, different framework.
Oh, is that Vision?
Yeah, it would probably be under the vision section of things.
Do you think that they would ever let you integrate like something from that library in with to work alongside the foundations thing as
You
one?
already can, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I have not gotten that far in my
You
research yet.
can.
Interesting. That's awesome. I love that.
So, Michael,
yeah.
would you have to have be in the beta, like developer program to use the shortcuts app to?
Yes,
You have
but
it, okay.
we think that the public beta is imminent in the next few days.
Okay. And also going back to the thing you said about that the models are static and that they don't necessarily learn from us, then how is our feedback valuable? Like if they get something wrong and
So
we
what-
have to, you know what I'm asking?
So what happens is that they do snapshots. They retrain the model or they make a new model.
Okay.
And so as they iterate, they put our feedback in and it will show up without us even really knowing that it's happened.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I was confused about that part. So thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Permission to talk?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say hello.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah. If you want to know, I explained in one of the live streams, I found out about these streams through an advertisement on RS Games.
Yep. I did that a few months ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Well, thank you
thanks for having
Thanks for
me.
coming here.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome.
Do you know, I never thought about using AI to code. I mean, so my issue with coding is, and it's shocking because I did a degree in computer science while I was at while I was at university. No, that's what I went to university to do. And I could get so far, and then I mean, I'm on the autistic spectrum, suspected ADHD. Get so far, and then suddenly, I just don't get it anymore. I always hit a wall, and I don't like that because I don't know. Ever since I was a kid, I quite fancied the idea of writing applications, but when I was a kid, Windows 98 was the bleeding edge of technology. So I mean, things have just changed so much. I think since then. But I mean, I've seen I've seen the Techopolis people, doing stuff with the Mac and with Xcode and Swift and what have you, and I don't know, it's kind of making me think, maybe I'd like to do something meaningful with a MacBook Pro, you know?
The thing about it is, like I've been as you know, I've been writing apps since 2011, and one of the things is I've been able to make apps, but they haven't been the greatest as far as the design. But with AI, I can say I need an accessible app, and here's what it needs to do. It may not get all the features right, but it can get a better design in 20 minutes that I could do in 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I can do. I found at uni I was always good at UI UX. We used to call it human computer interaction. So I used to be really good. Well, say really good. I'm not gonna like pretend to be something extraordinary, but I used to be quite good at human computer interaction. So like what a user interface would look like, what it would feel like. But with
Yeah,
the
I think the biggest thing is getting things to look the way that they're expected to look like. When you go to a different app, and how does your app compare? That's how I've had trouble.
yeah. I mean, I can understand. I mean, it's like it must be interesting for you two to code with. I can't remember if you two have got sight, Michael and Taylor. But it must be interesting to code with, try and design an app with little to no vision.
I
Yeah, I
have
mean,
quite a bit of usable vision, but Taylor does not, and she, with AI, can make pretty neat designs and
yeah.
things like that.
Or is it?
And Jeff, we're going to be talking about that in a little bit with GitHub Copilot, so you might find that interesting.
I quite like the idea though that so when I was at uni, I would say, okay, let's say we're writing an app to make a bank account or something. Not anything that you would actually use with Royal Bank of Scotland, but the little projects that they have you do in your first and second year of undergrad, just to show that you can. So I've got an app that will make you a bank account. You can do deposits, you can do withdrawals, yada yada, perfectly fine. But my autistic ass, sorry, I'm not trying to be, I mean, this is the frustration I have with my own disability. I can, someone will say, "Oh, Jay, why don't you use this method?" I'm like, "Well, that's absolutely fine, but I don't understand how to use it." I'll Google it, and it'll say, "Oh, well, you can, this is how it works." And I'm like, yeah, but I need them to tell me how it would work in the case of a bank account application. How do I do it? And I think with the um AI now, I think it would be quite good, actually, thinking about it, because I mean AI could kind of help me, or I could get it to explain to me like I'm 5 years old what a certain thing does. I think I remember. I think I remember once at uni getting so frustrated, going, "Right, I need this to me like you're teaching a nursery kid. Bloody sing it to me in a nursery rhyme." How this thing works, because abstract thinking, not my forte. Sorry, I'll yield the floor. I do apologize. I don't mean to take up all your time.
Did you guys know that you stopped the recording? Did you intend to do that?
Yes, I'm doing it
Okay.
at certain points to
Okay.
capture things for YouTube, and I will
Gotcha.
make a
Okay.
reminder for everyone to
Okay.
make sure
Just
we keep
making
it
sure.
family friendly for the stream if we can.
Sorry, I'm trying to be family friendly, and I'm sorry if
No
I
problem.
swore.
Nope. I'm just giving a reminder since we've got some new people. We're
Yeah.
streaming this on live on YouTube, so we want to make sure that whatever you say, you're fine with being on YouTube. Anyway, but yes, I am, like I said, recording and not recording at certain points to,
Snippets. Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay. I
snippets so
just
that
want
I
to
can
make
share on
sure that
YouTube.
you meant to do it and it wasn't a
Oh, yeah.
technology glitch.
Yeah.
I'm
Thanks
on a
for
wireless
asking.
headset. I'm going to put the kettle on while I still listen to you guys. I'm not on video or anything.
No problem. And we're not requiring anybody to be on video, but we've got a cool topic later when Jeff Bishop. Michael, do you want to move to that or do you have anything else to say?
I don't have anything at the moment, but that's one of the things I'm most excited about right now is where that's going with those models and things like that. But I think we're going to see some really neat things in the realm of AI coming this year. And Taylor, do you want? I know it's not out yet, but do you want to talk about ChatGPT agent mode, because I think
Yeah,
that's
hold
going to
on.
be
Let me do another recording. Okay, so ChatGPT agent mode is this thing that they introduced Wednesday, excuse me. It was when Michael was in the office. Kind of how I keep track of some of these things now. Anyway, so ChatGPT agent mode, what it is it is combining. So there's a few products that they had. One of them was called Operator. Operator was this research preview, meaning that it was only available to pro users, aka people who paid $200 a month. And they also combined that, Operator could like search the web, book reservations, and do all that stuff with a browser. Great. Okay. That's fine. They also combined it with the deep research, right? So you can, have deep research going and search a bunch of things. And they also combined it with other OpenAI proprietary technology. And ChatGPT agent is born. So it's a agent that runs its own virtual computer in the cloud. And you can give it questions like, I don't know, play chess, and it can literally go to a chess site and like play against a human opponent. You can also have it like search flights. You can also have it do things like that, and it can literally use the browser and like do deep research. I've had somebody who bought something, so you can actually have it like buy something. Somebody bought something on Amazon. They're looking for new work pants. So they went to Amazon, the agent typed in what they were looking for, and the person just gave the agent the credit card number, and it went along and bought the product. I'm not sure I would have done that, but it was a fun experiment anyway. So, ChatGPT agent right now it's only available for pro users, aka people who pay $200 a month. OpenAI claimed yesterday that it was going to be available for Plus and Teams users, but they did not come through on their promise. So that's what ChatGPT agent is. And it will be available in the tools menu on ChatGPT.
Do you know, I did hear about that actually. ChatGPT, actually, the headline was ChatGPT gets its own computer.
That's accurate. And you can spin up like 3 or 4 of them at once. There's a YouTuber who spun up like 5 or 6 of them actually. And how it works is you get credits. So if you're on a Plus or Teams account, you get 40 credits. I don't think they're like messages, but they're kind of credits. I'm not sure how it works. And if you're on the Pro tier, yep, you get 400 credits. And you
That's
can
awesome.
buy additional. And the other thing too is that it's done a lot of cool things for people, but we're still waiting.
I was gonna
for
say,
it to
what
come out.
all have people been doing with GPT agent? Do you know?
Well, I kind of listed a few of them, right? People have been playing chess. People have been, searching for work shoes and pants, and they've actually bought them on Amazon. People have been comparing flights for
Yeah.
vacations. People have been booking restaurants through OpenTable or other platforms.
I love that.
A lot of different routine tasks, and they can even click on different websites and things like that. I'm wondering how good of a like tester it will be.
Hey,
Some
Jay's
Plus
saying that
users got
some Plus
access.
users got access and that he's hearing it's a gradual rollout.
Oh, I didn't get access. I'm a Teams user. Dang.
I
Oh, did
need
you
to
get access?
check.
Yeah, if anybody got access here, I'd
Let
love
me
to
go
hear it. So
check.
unmute.
I don't know.
And
Jay is saying it might be a slow rollout, possibly. Maybe that he heard that could be.
yeah, I'm gonna go check my account right now, actually.
Me too.
So I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be a skeptic or anything. I'm saying it's interesting because like I've done a lot of that with just GPT by itself with the $20 a month plan. And the only difference is I gotta click on websites or manually input. Like I've played chess with GPT, but I can't wait to see how the agent aspect of it changes the interface and maybe makes my part of that like less. You know what I mean?
Not to mention, it can click on inaccessible websites. So, for
Ooh.
example, a task that I'm gonna
Okay,
do
that's good.
is open my Zoom, right, and try to like download the recording from this Zoom meeting. I'm just making up an example, right? Because that can be hard to do. Or fetch the reports for the Zoom meeting, right? Because that's a task that can be difficult. But
Yeah.
Agent can do that. There's also another thing that's coming out that's already out. I'm just waiting for an invite. It's called Perplexity Comet. It's like
Ooh,
an
nice.
agentic browser. But again, I'm waiting for an invite. And I'm telling you, when I get an invite, I will send it to you guys. You can get invites.
Sweet, dude. Yeah, I would be interested for sure in seeing how. So one of the things that is like the bane of my existence is Google Docs and Google spreadsheets and all of that. Just because I struggle with the fact that everything's inside of a web interface and it's not always accessible. Anyway, the point I'm making is I've been able to integrate Google Drive with GPT so far to help me get some of the raw data, but I will be very interested in seeing how Agent handles things like that too, as
Yeah,
far
and
as
it does make
accessibility.
spreadsheets. Actually, that's one of its biggest things. And you know, also that Perplexity comment, you could literally have it open on that page and then ask it to like summarize the sheet or add data, and it will add
Right,
data.
right, or like reformat data in a
Yep,
text-based format for me to look at, or
it'll
whatever
do
it may
all of it.
be. Like, I am curious to see how it could help with accessibility stuff like that too. You know, I mean, you
Yeah,
never
I'm
know.
trying to
It
get an
could
invite to all of these
be
things. And once I do, you guys will be the first ones to hear about it.
could be a big game changer. You know.
I think it will be. I don't think anybody in the blindness community has access to Perplexity Comet. I could be wrong, or
So you're saying
maybe
that Perplexity Comment's going to be like a full AI-based web browser,
it
or
is a full
okay,
AI web-based browser.
okay,
Yes.
that's what I thought you said. I just wanted to make sure that I was right about that. The question is going to that's well, the interesting part of that's going to be, you know, a lot of the tools and websites and things that are quote unquote accessible or well compatible, I should say, compatible with Chrome or Safari or whatever the traditional browsers are. How many of them will be compatible with Perplexity? You know,
Absolutely
comment.
all of them because it's Chrome-based.
Jay says Claude MPC can do a lot of that stuff too already, from what I've gathered.
Yes, it can. They have like a computer use agent, and yes, it can do all of that. But the Perplexity thing is actually in the web browser, and the Claude takes a lot more to set up because it uses something called MCP, Model Context Protocol. Basically, what that is for starters is to connect your data with AI models. It's a protocol made by Anthropic, the makers of Claude. So it can do all of it, but it's just not as easy setup.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how an AI-based web browser app will function. That could be super interesting.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for invites and we'll see if I get one. And like I said, you know, I will probably, hopefully soon.
Yeah. Hey, how is speaking of AI coding and projects, you spoke about a month or two ago, I don't remember, maybe it was a month and a half ago. You'd gotten a rabbit, you know, little Android
Yes.
thing, and you kind of talked some
Let's
about it, and you were working with, you were hoping that the developer could improve some accessibility, and you were kind of just getting started and learning with it and working with it, and I was just curious how that's going.
all right, let's talk about that. So the Rabbit is, like I said, a little like a handheld device and it's running Android. So here's what I will tell you. There's good news and there's kind of meh, not so great news. So
I mean, I'd seen somebody post something not so great about it yesterday, but that was like I said, I don't want to get into that or bash them or say anything disparaging. It just made me want to ask you for an update on your experience.
I'm going to start with the bad news. So they've
All
got
right.
this intern mode where it can like help you do a bunch of research and things, and it's really, really great. I use it for product specifications. Bad news is it's become paid. You only get 3 tasks a month for free.
What?
Not the biggest fan. Now I'm gonna be
Not
honest.
not when you're spending several $100s up front on a device. Come on, man.
Right? I thought that it would be included. This was very difficult, and I was not too happy about that.
Dude.
The good news is they are trying to make up and work on accessibility. They're going to start with contrast first. So
Okay, that's good.
Well, let's be real here. You pay for the device, and it does a lot on that device.
it does.
But at the same time, the intern does a lot of cloud-based AI, and
Yes.
that's expensive work. That's very expensive work.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
And because the intern is not reliant on the device,
Right.
so it helps you to unlock that mode by getting the device. But yeah, I understand why they make it paid, because it's like ChatGPT agent.
I get it too, but like it's like, man, for a community like ours that just money is not growing on trees, it's like, oh man.
Well, that's why I keep talking about on-device AI.
Oh yeah,
Because
sure.
for
I
our
just was
community,
curious.
yeah.
I was just curious how that whole thing was going, since like, I knew you guys
Yeah.
had it and you talked
I mean,
about it.
Taylor has one, I have one. They are working on things, but compared to all the other devices out there, like the Humane Pin and others, Rabbit is the
Rabbit's
only
best.
one kind of staying afloat.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's bad, right? And I understand that cloud AI is a lot of money. I just wish, like, well, okay, it'd be really cool if there was ways to make it more affordable and use more on device.
And it might be one of those things that it's expensive now, but maybe in 5 to 10 years it will be cheaper. Almost like, you remember when I mean, I know that some of you guys are older than I am, but like my memory is like back in the early 2000s when I got my first cell phone as a kid, and you could like you had like 300 minutes of talking, but then talking was free after 9 p.m. and you had, maybe 5 or whatever gigs of data a month, and you had 1,000 texts a
I
month or
remember
whatever for
those
your price
days.
point. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then it became texting was free, but data and minutes still cost. And then it became unlimited talk and text, but data it still cost. And then now you can get unlimited all of it plans. And I wonder if AI cloud stuff will sort of evolve like that, like where it's expensive now, but maybe, in 10 years or whatever, as the technology develops and the infrastructure develops and advancements are made, maybe it'll become more affordable,
Possibly, but I do wonder.
So Jay, I want to read Jay's comment. He's saying, sorry, Jay, I missed part of it, and maybe Taylor, you can read the full thing. Something about he thinks maybe somebody snatched a part of Rabbit's software component and put it on a normal Android phone, or did something, and that's why they're having to now charge, or I can't. Sorry,
I don't
VoiceOver was
know
talking
about
to me.
that. I'm not sure if I can verify that for sure. I mean, that could happen, but I don't think that's related to intern.
I had heard that they were able to take Rabbit OS and put it on a Google Pixel 6a. I had heard that, because they were trying to kind of find out just what this device was and how it worked. So last summer, I did hear that they put it on a Google Pixel 6a.
So Jay, hopefully I interpreted what you said right. VoiceOver read it super fast, but yeah, I don't know anything about it, but that would be interesting if that would be interesting, Hopefully people aren't stealing their stuff, but yeah, guys, I mean, I hope that computer cloud and AI and stuff becomes cheaper, someday. Jay says I got what he was saying out of it, so I'm glad I did, But yeah, I hope that it becomes kind of like, cell phone technology and data, where now, now it's accessible, whereas 20, 30 years ago it was not as much. I hope cloud AI becomes that way in 5 or 10 years, What do you guys think about that?
I hope
Think it'll
so.
become cheaper
Yeah,
over time?
potentially, depending on the GPUs. But I honestly hope that there's more on-device AI, to be honest, because we already have these powerful computers that
I hope
we
there's
have to build
both.
innovate.
I kind of
Yeah, I
hope
do
there's both.
too, but
I hope there's both.
on-device
Well,
AI is more sustainable.
one thing I'm going to say though is the power, like just one, just send one request to ChatGPT takes up a lot of power, and the models are not getting smaller or less powerful; they're getting more. And like they're trying to build data centers faster and faster to keep up with demand of large language models. And the whole thing about it is large language models are now the one thing that's making us use technology beyond what for a long time our devices were not being used to their full potential, and now they are because of AI. So I don't see it getting cheaper anytime soon, unfortunately, for uh, good and precise large language model use.
From what I'm seeing, it seems that LLMs and other bits of AI and other technology, it's just going to keep getting better and better, just going to keep requiring more power. So while the machines that run today's stuff will get more and more efficient as time goes on, although they are starting to say that Moore's law is dead and that they're coming to, that they're actually coming to the edge of what can be done with, tiny transistors. So yeah, there is that as well. But I think I don't know. I could be wrong, but it just seems that obviously we're always wanting the next big thing with software and computers and just about anything technology. So
Well,
yeah,
Moore's law, as far as the transistor, yes, but they found ways around Moore's law with building on top, multi-core systems and multi-threading and other things. So they're finding ways around the limitations of the transistor and the problem with the speed of light. So the next big thing, though, is going to be quantum computing, and when we get that, that's going. Well, we already kind of have it in certain situations, but when that becomes more commonplace, that's when really things are going to take off again.
I did see that they've managed to do they've managed to use quantum computing to work their way around something genetic that would have taken thousands of years potentially for normal computers and humans to work out themselves.
Of course, there's the environmental aspect, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier with sustainability. That's kind of a big problem. I mean, I think eventually on device can keep up. It's just innovations needed.
I think on device we'll be able to do a lot, but there are things that on device will need to grow. Like for on device to be good, we're going to need 32 gigabytes at the least of RAM on every device.
Well, yeah.
And at the price point, that's just not possible at the moment for most people to obtain. So again, all Apple devices are going up to 16 gigs of RAM, even on phones, I believe. It might be 8, but most iPads and Macs, I think, are going up to 16. And, that way there's enough memory for the Apple Intelligence models and all those things. I mean, even Windows is using some on-device stuff on the Copilot Plus PCs, but we're going to see a major change in how this stuff works for sure.
Man, so in my pipe dream in my world, I would love to have my own like data and RAM so that I could run like simulation games for different things. But I researched how much RAM that kind of stuff would take, and it would take like over 100 gigs of RAM. I'm like, oh my gosh. And of course, like, if you ever wanted to build a PC for that, it would be loud and big, and I don't have space or whatever. But anyway, I would laugh and be excited if someday a normal computer had 30 to 50 gigs of RAM. Like I'd be like, oh my God. Anyway, I don't know when it'll ever happen, but I thought you guys would laugh because I'm sitting here like researching like how much RAM it would take and how expensive it would be for me to have that much RAM somewhere on something, and I was like, oh my god, 100 gig, oh my gosh. But yeah, it's funny when you start researching how much RAM it takes to run some of those big large language models and stuff, and if you were to create a simulation game or to do some kind of a huge project, it's actually interesting because it's surprising how much like RAM that kind of stuff takes, and it's like,
Well,
oh my gosh, no wonder I can't do it on one device, you know?
Meta has a model that is their 405 billion parameter model. And that thing is, I think, 270 gigabytes on disk, which means that whole thing has to be loaded into RAM.
Mm-hmm.
Now, think about that. That it would
Yeah.
be 270 plus gigs of RAM that would be needed to run that whole model, plus your
Right.
operating system and your apps.
Right. And the only way you're going to do that is if you spend thousands of dollars on custom building a PC, you know?
Actually, the best way to do that would be to create a cluster of PCs, or actually Macs would work better. Create a cluster of like 3 or 4 Macs, and you load it into RAM onto all of them, and you create a mechanism to connect them together that can
Like a
load
network. Well, still,
Mhm.
you know, it's going to take thousands of dollars and a bunch of space, you know, if
Oh,
you're going to
yeah.
do that right now.
Yep.
Hey, Jay has another question, and I don't totally understand it, but Taylor, it's in the Zoom chat if you want to go look at it.
It's about neural engines, Michael.
Sorry, Jay, I don't totally. So I'll let either Michael or Taylor read and answer your question because I don't totally get it.
Let me.
I mean, I
Yeah,
understand neural some stuff, but I'm not sure I have. I don't. That's not my wheelhouse. But one of you two read his question, and then y'all can talk about it.
Hold on. I'm trying to find it.
I heard voiceover read enough to know that there is a question worth, or not. Well, all questions are worth answering, but that there is a question. You know.
Okay.
Okay. Neural engines on Mac. So yeah, basic is I think that's what I saw.
Yes.
So an example of this is the foundation models, but you can't. There is also called MLX, which lets you train your own engines and use that in what's it called?
Apps.
Well, not apps, but the what's it called? Core ML.
Core ML. Yeah. Sorry.
MLX lets you take models that you've created with Olama and Hugging Face models and convert them to work with Core ML, so that you could use them on Apple platforms with the neural engine.
Because Core ML it works with a neural engine. So there's other ways to load models, but Core ML is the fastest because it uses their neural engine. Does that help?
I would like to point out how hilarious it is that Apple has always had a framework called Foundation, and then their new one is called Foundation Models. And they also have the rights to the TV show and the based on the books called Foundation. I just want to point out the irony there.
That's funny. I love that.
I wish that there was something equivalent to foundation models on Android. Like there are different frameworks, but nothing quite exists like that I know of on the Android side.
I do not think so, no.
I mean, there's integrations you could use with Gemini and other things in developing, but again, that's all going to the cloud. Um, Gemini has very few on-device features that it utilizes, from my understanding. Now, if I'm wrong on that, I would love to know. But
Although now they have the Gemma Nano model, where it's like a 3B model that they're actually going to probably use in Google Chrome
Hmm.
and other features.
Interesting.
So they are starting to get more into on-device with the Gemma
Yeah, but I think
Nano.
Apple's leading the way in that, and maybe even Copilot. You know. AI is so interesting. I could talk about it for hours.
Yeah, and yeah.
Taylor, this will be another recording moment.
Okay.
And I know, Jeff, you're here as well.
He
Well,
just
Jeff just
left.
left,
Oh, okay. Um,
but he was here.
Maybe
yeah.
he'll come back.
Yeah.
And I'm
Uh,
sorry for keeping recording. Everybody's screen reader says recording, but I'm taking
Yeah.
videos, so.
But Taylor, why don't you tell everybody about the changes in GitHub Copilot and Beast Mode?
Man,
Yeah,
I wish
talk
Jeff
about
was here.
that. I want to hear about that. Talk about that.
All right. So GitHub Copilot, as y'all know, is, or maybe not, is a you know, Copilot that Microsoft makes amongst other Copilots, and it's GitHub, right? So it is integrated into GitHub. So if you've ever stored software on there, if you've ever dealt with GitHub, it's a place where you can collaborate and make software. Well, GitHub Copilot is like a coding agent. It's comparable to things like Cursor or others. And for a while, it was not the greatest. I'm not gonna lie. It's gotten a lot better though. A month or two ago, they released the agent mode. Now, agent mode is what you think about when you think about agentic code, right? So if you've ever used Cursor or Windsurf or any of the other coding agents, it can do a couple things. So for one, it can help you to code different things. So I can make a prompt that says, I want to make a hello world app in Python, right? And that can, start coding it and things like that. It also runs terminal commands. It can search the web. It can do things like that, right? Well, the agent mode is great, but one of the engineers on the VS Code team, Bert Holland, believe, he made a custom mode. So about 2-3 weeks ago, VS Code introduced custom modes. So they're like the agent, but what they are is they're custom prompts that you can give to the agent to do a certain thing. So this one is called Beast Mode. And what Beast Mode does is it's like a super like agent, I'd say, because it has like a whole bunch of different prompts like, first whenever you get a prompt from a user, make a to-do list, then as you implement these things, check off the items on the to-do list. And that's great, right? And so it uses the GPT 4.1 model by default. And it's really, really an awesome addition to GitHub Copilot because the agent mode is pretty good by itself, but I found Beast Mode to be absolutely amazing. And Jeff Bishop created another Beast Mode edition called Magic Beast Mode, I believe it's called. And it adds some things about accessibility and other different things that are custom to his use case. I'm working on one as well. And the way you get these agent modes is first you go into VS Code and then you go to command palette. So Control Shift P on Windows, Command Shift P on Mac, and I type in modes, right? Or agent modes. It says configure agent modes. Okay, I press enter. And then I can either create or select, right? So if I say create an agent mode, I could either store it in the local project file or I can store it in my user data so it can be available to all my projects and all my VS Code. And that's what I normally do. I give it a name so I can say beast mode. It comes up with a markdown file. And then typically I'll just paste in the beast mode content and there you go. I've got the beast mode, right? So it's just a GitHub link. I'll be putting that in the YouTube in the chat, whenever I am done with the video or the stream, whatever we're doing, right? So all I do is I literally paste that in there, and then I can go to my agent mode, so Control-Shift-I. I can go to my mode selector, and I can select beast mode, right? And that will be in there. I've made a couple of them before, like a planning mode and the enhanced agent mode that Jeff had. But we've been liking beast mode because it's so thorough in what it does. And it like search the web. Like every time I give it a prompt, it will search, it will, execute queries. And another tip for y'all is if you're using PowerShell specifically, in GitHub Copilot, there's a bug that it won't easily run terminal commands. So all I do is I go to the command palette and I go to set terminal and I change it to git bash, right? And then that way it will run terminal commands better because PowerShell it seems to have issues with. So those are some tips that I have for GitHub Copilot, and I'm hoping that Jeff is here. But those are some things that we've been working on lately with GitHub Copilot. I've been engaging with the creator of the beast mode on X. So I will put some of the links to beast mode and my conversation on X. You guys can see what the hype is all about. Do you guys have anything to add to that, or Jeff here? Michael, you guys here?
Yeah, we're still
Yes,
here.
we're here.
All right.
I didn't have anything to add. I have not used this yet, but it
Okay.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, and I'll be putting the link in Zoom chat. The other thing I will say too is they have these things called MCPs. I keep talking about them because they're really important. They're called Model Context Protocols, and they're servers, right? And so remember, Model Context Protocol is an open protocol. It's made by Anthropic, and it connects your data to the LLMs. There's a GitHub one. And let me tell you, so if I'm in a GitHub repo, I can actually have Copilot. I can say, create an issue, I don't know, about this page does not have headings. And I could say, for example, the homepage does not have headings, and it can, create an issue for me, and I can say yes, continue, and I can say also assign it to me and Michael Doise, right? I can put our GitHub usernames and it will work. The other thing I did yesterday, which was really cool, is I told AI to come up with a full code review of this repository and ensure that you find security vulnerabilities, accessibility issues, and other usability problems. And then once you find those and I say that they're good, ensure that you can create GitHub issues. I logged about, I don't know, 20 GitHub issues within 10 minutes yesterday. It was really cool. And all I had to do is hit continue, and then the MCP server, I configured it in my tools, I installed it. It's actually pretty easy to do. It's in VS Code, and there's a list of MCP servers. I hit install, and then I logged in with my GitHub, and there you go. And I can literally create GitHub issues from my GitHub in VS Code. And it like literally has all the context it found from the code base. Let me tell you, that saved me a lot of time. So I'd consider trying that if I were you. But I'm gonna be putting all the links so you guys can try it because it's pretty easy. And once Jeff gives me his, I might distribute that if we want to, so that everybody can try out the Magic Beast mode. So yeah. Any thoughts on this, y'all?
Any questions?
Yep.
Don't think so for me.
None come to my mind immediately, but I think it's super, super cool. You know?
It is. And the creator of the beast mode I guess, is always on X, and we're answering questions and things like that. So I will definitely put all of the information once I'm done recording. I'll put it in the chat so y'all can see it.
Yeah.
Hi,
Don't forget to also put the link on your comment section in YouTube or in your
Yes,
description.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody else was saying something?
Hi, sorry for going on with chat so far. I was in the
No,
middle of
you're
something.
fine. You're fine, man.
So what I want to check was I want to just run a scenario about this beast mode
Mm-hmm.
and getting the. So for instance, say I have this open source TTS, and in specific language files, I find certain say the way they have framed this is sort of wrong according to our language. So is it possible for me to prompt when I'm on beast mode to create the relevant issues without having to manually go through all that, or does it work that way, or is it more like overall kind of issues that it can create?
So you can do a couple of things. For one, you can actually prompt it to create an issue with that exact, like the friend, whatever's wrong. The other thing too is it can do like a code-based review. So I said that a minute ago. I said, do a full code review of this entire project and create GitHub issues for the issues that you find so I can fix them. There's also other things where you can be able to, once you have an issue, you can actually have Copilot like assigned to that issue. And when it's done working on it, it will open up a pull request. So that's also a feature that you can use. But yeah, that should work, and it will actually do research, right? So let's say that you're like, okay, I need to prompt this to, I don't know, fix this one thing in the language. If it doesn't know, beast mode is configured to, like, when it first gets your prompt, it will do some internet research to make sure it has the right information. But you'll need the GitHub MCP server and logged into the GitHub and making sure that when you're in the folder, you're in the folder of the repo, and then it should be able to create issues. And then assign them to you or assign them to whoever.
Okay, I haven't actually done this MCP
MCP.
configuration. Yeah. So is it kind of something that I can, um, type something like how to configure MCP for GitHub and get something readily from the AI itself to do the different steps I have to take, or is it something
You
that's
can, or there's a link I'm going to be putting in Zoom chat where you can see all the MCPs and then you can install them right into VS Code. It's really simple. All you do is you install them and then they'll show up in the agent.
okay? So is it different from what we do for Claude when we try to use the functions in the PC with its MCP? Is it different from this one?
Yes, so it's actually in VS Code. I'm not sure if VS Code can recognize MCPs in Claude Desktop, but you don't have to like install Docker or anything. You just literally install the servers. And like I said, I'm not sure if it can recognize in the Claude, that you already have these servers, but you'll be able to install them right into your VS Code and they'll show up.
Are there any system requirements or something that I have to look at when I install these MCPs, because they are servers, and does it load my resources in some way when I?
No, because they're cloud based and they are, so it's like a VS Code extension and then it calls the cloud. From my understanding, it's not a local MCP, it's actually cloud based because there's two types of MCP.
Oh, then that's like not giving any resource consumption issues for me.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
Right.
great, thank you.
Yeah, because there's two types of MCP. Y'all, there's the local where you have to like install it yourself on your device, and then there's the cloud, and these are cloud.
That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. MCP can be a little daunting, but um but yeah, anybody else have questions?
Well, it's me again. I actually posted another question in the chat, but this is not exactly on Copilot, but Hugging Face. If anyone, if you have played around with it, I would like to know how we can create models. I see some tabs when I go to the iOS app for Hugging Face where you have this training tab and models tab and things like that, but I don't get how to work with it. So.
Okay, I'll try to answer that. Like I said, and I can, even if it's not on the topic, I can like edit it and make sure whatever it goes in the right place. So creating models with Hugging Face is there's a couple ways you can do it. Okay, so this might get pretty advanced for y'all, but I'll explain it the best I can. So for when you create models, you have two options. You can either do it one locally, right? So you can use something like MLX, or if you're on Windows and Linux, you can use Unsloth, right? So Unsloth is a framework for training and fine-tuning LLMs. And really what I mean by fine-tuning is I actually mean taking a pre-trained model. So think about this. So let's say I take Gemma Nano, right? I've been talking about that for a while. Gemma Nano is really broad. So think about that. Like, let's say you have your, primary care provider, right? It knows everything about everything. But then if you want to specialize, you want to create a model, you're not just going to go create a model all from scratch, because that takes billions and millions of parameters and like, well, I guess not parameters, but samples. That's going to take you forever, and that's going to be expensive. What you actually do is the fine tuning, like I'm talking about. So that, the primary care provider, right? That's like very general. But then let's say you want to make a model on assistive technology commands. I'm just making up something. Well, you're going to make sure that that model that you retrain in a sense, or that you fine tune, is specialized, right? So it's almost like a specialty doctor, right? So you have your primary care, that's great. But now you're going to specialize. Okay, you are really an AT instructor with 20 years of experience, all the JAWS commands, I don't know. Right? So when you train models, I give all this context to say you can either do it through the local, right? So you could do it all on your computer, and then you can upload to Hugging Face. Hugging Face also has a cloud environment. It's called AutoTrain. AutoTrain is fairly accessible, so it's going to be a little complicated because what you do is it's actually 66 cents an hour, so it's paid. And then what you're going to have to do, it'll spin up a Docker container, and then the Docker container will install AutoTrain. I found that it's not the most accessible. I haven't messed with the paid part as much, but I found that it's not the most accessible. The other thing people do is use Google Colab. Google Colab is like a Jupyter notebook, if you guys have heard of those. And it is, again, not the most accessible, but I've been able to train one model on there before, but it was not the best. And like I said, not the most accessible. Honestly, what I'm going to be trying is MLX on my Mac, because that way I can just use it on my Mac. Or otherwise, I'm going to try Unsloth on my Windows PC. I like Unsloth because it's a full framework and it takes 80% less memory than what a normal framework would take. The problem is you have to have some kind of Linux, or you have to be able to install Triton. It's a library. So again, that's really deep in the weeds, but you can train models with Hugging Face. Does that help?
Yeah, just a small clarification. How does it differ from creating your own GPT within ChatGPT? Are they kind of parallels or?
Absolutely not. So let's explain that. And again, I might, I'll put this in a whole separate thing. But when you create a GPT in GPT, you are taking the existing OpenAI model, ChatGPT, and you're making it specialized. The reason that that's not the same is because you are literally like, you're not cloning the model, you're not like adding a whole data set. You're just literally saying you're an expert in AT training, right? You got these commands. It's much easier to create a GPT. But the thing is, let's say you want something that's more like for your company, and you want more internal, and you want more everything, right? You want to make sure it only does what you tell it. You want more control. You want to create your own model, like in fine tune. Right? So it's very different. When you're doing a GPT, you're literally giving the GPT instructions on how it should act, but you don't have full control of how the model will interact with you in a like, you can't get rid of emojis, for example. You can try, but the only really way to get rid of emojis is to make sure you have a data set, right? When you actually train your own model, right? GPT will always have emojis, And yes, you can prompt it in the GPT prompt, but it might not always come through. So that's just an example.
Okay, got it. So when we put it in Hugging Face, can we download it locally and use it or host it somewhere else, like a VPS or something like that?
So when you put it on Hugging Face is actually a hosting provider. So if you use Olama, you can actually download the GGUF in Olama. So I don't know, I think it's like Olama pull Hugging Face slash your username slash model name, I think. But if you go to the model card on huggingface.com, it will have the instructions on how to use it with Olama. But you can also use it in things like OpenWebUI or others, or even potentially Hugging Face chat. I say potentially, it just depends. But you, like I said, you don't need to host it on your own VPS. I mean, unless you want to. A Hugging Face is a hosting service, and you can make models public or private.
So when you host it on Hugging Face and make it private or like limited in some way, it's yours. Nobody else can access it.
Absolutely. Nobody else can access it. You can put it private for your organization. I think there is a cost, but you can get an organization for free. Or if you've got a personal account and you make a model, you can decide to make it private or public. And then you can also have what are called gated models. Now, I think this is mainly for like the metas or the unsloths, where they literally have to put in their contact information, then you give them access to the model. But I don't know that you can do that on the personal or free organization. I want to say you cannot, but I don't know for sure.
This is great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
No.
All right, I'm going to stop this one. This has been an awesome discussion, y'all.
Thanks.
Yeah, really cool. Let's see.
Lots of interesting stuff we're talking about today, guys. What a fun way to be back from summer break, I would say.
Actually, now we are kind of off the recording. One thing I wanted to say was I missed these sessions while you guys were in the summer break. We don't have something called summer break in this part of the world. We are in tropics. So it's great to be back and catching up.
Oh, absolutely. I'm super fired up that we're back too. I'm super glad you're back too. I mean, I always love it when you're on, and yeah, we'll be doing it every single Tuesday pretty much from here on out. We just went to, I don't know if you know, Jay, but we went to the American Council for the Blind convention. Me and Taylor and Michael were all there, so, and then I know a bunch of other people went to the NFB convention. So the two blindness organizations here in America had their big summer conventions, and so anyway, we were super busy, and then we were exhausted after that. So summer break.
I saw a lot of things had come out during ACB. So many stores of assistive tech, cutting edge ones, and I saw some double tap stuff that they had come up with real cool. This thing and few others also had shared YouTube videos. If not for those, the folks at this end of the world don't get to know any of those. So I was hoping maybe next year I'll make it to ACB and probably NFB as well if all works out.
Oh, that would be awesome, dude. I would love that. Speaking of, Taylor, do you want to talk about some of the cool technology that we saw at the ACB convention or some of the cool updates from that?
Yeah, so let's talk about the ACB convention. It was really cool. Laurel and I, we did a shared booth between Laurel Wheeler Foundation, the Virtual Lions Club, and Techopolis, and we sold a lot of 3D printed goodies. And yeah, so we saw a lot of tech. I saw the Orbit Research had some cool things.
Yeah, Orbit. So I looked a lot at the Orbit table because our foundation is probably going to be, using them someday to help us get, Braille technology in the hands of people. So, do you want me to talk about some of the stuff I saw as I worked
and then
around,
I
or?
can kind of pick back on that.
Guys,
Yeah.
mind if,
So let me just.
Oh, hold on.
So
we
go
gotta,
ahead. Sorry.
I'm in a room and I'm in a room at the moment. I'm on my headset, but mind if I put this on my speakers? I wonder if Victoria, you want to hear about this? It's stuff
go
about the
for it.
ACB
Listen, go for it.
conference.
Go ahead.
Do it.
Yep.
Let's do it.
So give me a minute here.
Go for it. Seriously.
Yeah, there we go.
And everybody's welcome to interact.
Yeah, man. Everybody is. So, I'm gonna go off on a tangent that's not Orbit real quick, just because I wanted to mention this. I actually got to demo the Glidance Smart Cane, like the Glidance
Robot.
robot cane thing. And I will say, like, I know, the blind community has strong opinions about it, but me personally, I am excited about the future of smart robot canes. I'm a guide dog handler. And one of the things that has frustrated me the most in the last 5 years, or really 5 to 6 years of handling a guide dog, is the increased amount of access issues I've been having in ride shares and even with international travel now. In order to fly with my guide dog, I basically have to prove that he's not a fake service dog, and it's infuriating.
Yeah.
And I love guide dogs, and there's nothing that's ever going to replace the bond of having a guide dog or a working dog. But I could see myself at some point someday with a robot so that I could use it when I'm international traveling or something like that, so that I don't have to deal with some of the access crap I've faced, okay? And I will say I went into the Glidance testing as a skeptic. Full disclosure, I was a skeptic. I was like, there's no way this is going to equate to having a guide dog. No way. But I would say that my mind has been changed, and now there's still some things I want to see them develop and do. I really want to see a wearable that I could wear in concert with the robot itself that would allow for like back cameras, 365 camera angles, for my safety, to kind of simulate how it would feel if my guide dog turned his head and saw an obstacle or a car or a bike coming from behind me or to the left or right, at an angle, because my guide dog has done traffic checks that way. And so I'd like to see different camera angles, available there. And I also kind of want to see how Glidance will do on stairs and different things. They've talked about that. And I want to see Glidance have the ability to guide me anywhere around the world, like not just, in the United States or Canada or the UK. No disrespect to people that live here or there. So I think that the potential is high. I know that the price point is also high, but you got to think about, like, if you have a $30 a month subscription versus $100 a month for dog food, or if you decide to do that in concert with working a guide dog, like, I could see several scenarios in which it's viable. I was very impressed. So I want to throw that out there. Shout out to Glidance. I was very impressed. The next thing I personally wanted to talk about is, so Orbit has a variety of products that look great. One of them is kind of like the Orbit take on a Braille and Speak. It's like a little computer with a screen reader. It's handheld, and it runs off of a version of Android, and I'm not an expert on it yet, but it looked cool. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is multi-line or graphical Braille displays. I know Monarch with HPH has gotten a lot of the publicity. They sell for $17,000. That's expensive right now. But there's Dots Plus, I think is the other one, or Dot Viewer or something like that. And then there's the Orbit one that Orbit has. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now and I can't remember the model name. But they've got one where you can, with multi-layered dot height, you can feel graphics and pictures and you can read multi-lines of Braille, and theirs, I think, is like 15,000 right now.
What are the newer orbits like for noise? Because I had an orbit a few years back, and the one thing I remember about it is it was quite slow at refreshing and it was quite noisy. I just wondered what the newer ones are like.
I thought today's Orbit, because I am like you, I had the Orbit when it came out shortly after. I got it like in 2019, I want to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I had it early.
2020, so yeah, I felt.
So my take is, I am interested in it, and I own, for full disclosure, I own a HIMS 40 Edge. So just, for full disclosure, and I bought my HIMS in 2020. I would like to maybe own another Orbit 20. I gave mine away as part of the Laura Wheeler Foundation. No, it wasn't mine, it was the foundation's. We gave it to a Ukrainian blind refugee, I believe, is what we did with it. It was all hands on deck, and we were using all the stuff we had then. I felt like the Braille was, the noise was maybe a little quieter. Now, granted, it could have been also because I was in an exhibit hall. But I am impressed with the fact that they have continued to maintain and develop their technology and keep it. I know it's twice the cost of what it was back in 2019, but they've managed to keep it as low of a price point as they can. And I still believe, this is my personal opinion, and people might disagree, and that's fine. I still believe that if you need a low-cost Braille display that is multifunction and can work with more than one Bluetooth device at the same time and do other things that you want it to do, take notes, do whatever, I think that Orbit Reader 20 is still your best buy, your best purchase, honestly.
What's your refresh rate like? Because I remember obviously the older ones, it wasn't the best. I mean, I'm quite a fast Braille reader, so for me that.
I'm a really fast Braille reader too, and I'll be honest, I didn't pay attention to the exact refresh rate. Like, I wasn't sitting there counting, okay, like how many Braille cells per second are refreshing.
I wondered if it was any quicker than it used to be, or if it
I thought it was fine. Like, I'll put it this way, without analyzing it closely, it's hard to comment, but there's not at one point that I was looking at it that I thought to myself, oh, this is slow. Like, I didn't think about it, you know what I mean?
No, that's fair. Yeah.
So I've seen Victoria on her Brilliant. Like, I've got a bit of sight, and I've seen her on her Brilliant. Like swipe, click, swipe, click.
Listen, I'm that way too. I'm that way too. So, like, I don't want to say without having like fully examined it,
Yeah.
But I will say, like, I didn't once wonder, hey, this is slow, or how do I adjust this,
That's good, because I once I had the older Orbit Reader 20, and I didn't realize that I was reading quicker than it was refreshing, and I accidentally broke a couple of the pins because of that, without meaning to. But
I think it's gotten quicker. That's my intuition, like my gut feeling. Now, like I said, I can't directly compare the refresh rates. I'm hoping, without getting into it, I'm hoping that I can partner with Orbit some in the work that I'm doing. So I might in the future, in like a month or two, I might have better info for you, like more directly. I thought it was pretty great. Now, here's what I really think is interesting. I compared the Monarch directly with the Orbit and the Dots viewer, like their multi-line and their Braille displays that could let you see graphically, like pictures and maps and things. And I don't want to diss the Monarch. I appreciate it a lot, and I appreciate the app that they have on the iPhone that lets you draw a picture and see it in real time. I love that. But I thought the Dots viewer and I thought the Orbit's versions of those types of devices honestly were better, because the Monarch's Braille Dots, the dot firmness was not very strong, and there was not a way to make it stronger. It was just what you got was what you got. The other devices seemed to have settings that you could adjust that to your user preference, and I appreciated that. And in the Orbit's case, you could see dots like on multi-dot, levels of dot heights. On the Dots Viewer Plus, I don't remember if it was the same or not, but I do remember on that device, the way that the dots were made was in an innovative way that kept dirt from getting under them, and that's a lot of what breaks or dirties it up or stops a braille pen from working very well. So I will say, like, I appreciate that Monarch has a couple of competitors, and I think that maybe, like, I don't have the money to buy one right now, but if I did, I would buy an Orbit or a Dots viewer. I realize the price point is really high right now and it's unaffordable for most people, but I'm optimistic someday about, in 5 years from now, what multi-line braille displays will be like and how affordable they might be. And I just thought it was worth commenting on for people that may be interested in it. That and the Glidance were the two biggest sort of takeaways I had. Although for those of us that are braille readers, I also got to see this German-made braille display that when you touched it, it could also read, if you had it paired with a screen reader on your device, it could read the words under your fingers as you were reading in braille. That was cool, although Victoria, you and me might be too fast for that. However, if you had it in music mode, it could play music while you were reading, and I thought that was ridiculously cool. Just,
Wow.
Oh wow.
I mean,
like
the
that.
braille display itself was like $3,800 for a 20 cell, and there's no way I can get that right now. But like for the novelty of the idea, I thought it was like super cool. Nothing
Yeah.
else like that.
I think most people are just pair a basic braille display to an iPhone these days and have an Apple Music or Spotify subscription.
No, I'm just saying like it would play different musical notes like from an organ while you were
that is cool.
moving your hand across. It's a German one, and I don't remember, and you guys are gonna have to forgive me. I can't remember the name of it right now, but
What? So you move your hand and it. So you move
yeah,
your hand.
dude,
It's
that's
like,
what I'm saying. You move your hand across, and with each different letter that you're reading at random, it's playing a organ note.
Well, I suppose it'd be cheaper than hiring Jason Eddles to do that with his keyboards while you're
Oh my gosh. But guys, like it was just the novelty of it was really cool. That they had this multi-layered, multi-sensory experience
Wow.
reading.
while
It
you
kind
were
of sounds
reading
like the
it.
sort of thing I would have seen in a fever dream when I was about 5 years old or something.
Dude,
you
I
know?
know. That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that they have the technology where you could feel the braille and it could like play notes while you were feeling. I just
My
thought it was
neurodi-
cool, man.
My neurodivergent inner child is jumping up and down for joy right now, and I'm a
Yeah,
print
I know.
user.
Dude,
So
I don't
excited.
remember which braille display, but I swear to you, if you Google German built braille display music mode, you will find it.
Give me a moment here.
Dude, oh my God, it was so cool. So I thought it
Yeah.
was worth mentioning, but I know Taylor has some other cool tech stuff to
Yeah.
mention too. So while you,
Is it Help Tech?
oh gosh, they might sell it, but I can't remember if
Active? No, that's
active something.
Is there any way we
Oh,
can
okay, we'll have a look.
say?
Dude,
All right, let's-
look it up,
I'll
but I'll punt. I know Taylor's got things to comment too, but I wanted to comment about those things that I saw. And I know Michael got to test out some smart glasses, was it Echo Vision by a Giga, Michael?
Yep, that was the one.
Oh yeah,
They
I want to hear
purport to
about
be the
that.
competitor to, they're trying to compete with like Envision and Meta and things like that. So I at least want Michael to comment on how it was when he tested them, because I feel like that's also a hot button topic and a conversation here in the community. I did not test them. So, Michael, do you want to comment on that?
Sure.
And then Taylor, maybe you can, I know you've got a lot of things to say, but I
Not
really
a whole
do
lot
want,
actually, but
Oh.
go ahead, Michael.
So
sorry, I
went to
don't
the-
want to forget anyone or anything. I really want, Michael, I want you to be able to talk about what you thought.
So I did test the Echo Vision glasses, and I have very mixed opinions on these. I own a pair of the Meta Smart glasses, and I'm a huge fan of them. But the glasses from a Giga, the Echo Visions, are built. They say by blind people for blind people. That's not entirely accurate, but I'll leave that issue alone. They are a wonderful set of glasses that and that are built to do more for the blind compared to the Meta glasses. They have live description that can describe as you're walking and doing things, which is really neat. And they have better OCR functionality and things like that. I'm really excited about that. I think it's really cool. Now, the downside to and they look like a pair of Meta glasses. Like, they are really neat as far as their form factor. So I will say that they do also advertise a longer battery than the Meta glasses. So keep that in mind. But they do have some weaknesses. They're still working on a volume bug where as you would change the volume, they will crackle and kind of pop. So they say that will be fixed at the time of release. But when I'm looking at a demo of something, that was not my favorite thing to hear. The other thing that I noticed with these is, and I asked the developers, do they have offline capabilities? He said they can do some OCR offline, which is really cool. I'm glad about that. However, I asked, okay, one of the things that make the Meta glasses amazing is they always have internet because they're connected to your phone through Bluetooth to an app. That is not an option with the Giga glasses. So they have to connect to your hotspot or through a Wi-Fi network to get the most use out of these. Now, what happens a lot of times in the past on iPhone hotspots is it will just disconnect for no reason. And that is a problem to me when you have a set of glasses that's meant to be used on the road and you're walking down the sidewalk and your Wi-Fi just stops. I see a big problem with that. So that's the one disadvantage I see, or the two disadvantages I see on the EchoVision glasses is the Wi-Fi issue and the volume. Otherwise, I think it's a great device, and it does look like very similar to a set of Ray-Ban Meta glasses.
Michael, just something on Ecovision. I remember in the very first few demonstrations, something that they emphasized, what was in offer with the Meta glasses, as opposed to that in Meta glasses we have to prompt always to know what we want to know as visually impaired
Right.
people, whereas Ecovision will be more context aware, and it's with the press of a
Yes.
button, it would know I need it to do. Is this really happening when you tested it?
All I could see was just the live AI feature. That's all they were really demoing at the time whenever I was looking at these. Um, the live AI was doing a really good job, though.
So, since you have used Meta glasses also and Live AI in that one, do you feel it's more oriented towards a blind user than what we have in Meta glasses,
I
or how did you?
do, I do, but again, I feel like if something interrupts that data stream, then as much as they can make it useful for the blind, if it loses connection and can't give you the information, then it's not doing its job. And that's the one area I believe Meta, like, people do have issues connecting their Meta glasses. I understand that. But the way that Meta has done that is they're always on the internet. If your phone's on the internet and they're connected, they always have internet. And I think that any other glasses manufacturer that can reproduce that magical thing and make it towards the blind would be much more successful.
Yeah, I mean, I agree because like I don't want to have to lose connection. I mean, I had Envisions and they kept losing connection, had to reset them. So that's definitely a problem there.
The
Um,
other device that I thought was really neat at convention was the Orbit Player.
That
I'm
was cool.
even I'm kind of excited about that, and I mainly use my iPhone. But it's a $300 version of the Victor Reader Stream. How do you beat that? Like that,
What does a Victor Reader Stream go for these days? I don't even know.
like $600-700.
That's stupid. That
$5.99,
makes me so
I think,
mad.
at one point.
That makes me so mad. Okay, so talk about this. Talk about it.
So it's a player that you can use to load up audiobooks or text-based books, and it will play those. It has a lot of podcast playback features, and it's a very nice form factor. It uses vocalizer voices. It's a very neat form factor for that kind of a player, and it's a lot cheaper. And that's what gets me is it's undercutting all these other player devices.
And it's running Android, right?
I believe so.
Android 12.
Well, either way, it runs a lot of the. I mean, it can do pretty much everything that the Victor Reader Stream can do, from my understanding.
Yeah, I personally won't buy a Victor Reader Stream because I can do all of that with my iPhone. But if I were to need, like, I think, I mean, in my mind, a lot of the use cases for having, a player like that are maybe it's not as needed for a lot of people because you can do all that with your iPhone or your Android phone too. But I have seen, like, around the world where there's a lot of use case in different countries or even in America, depending on what your needs are. If you're a student or if you're working and you don't want to have to run everything off of your phone or computer, or you want to listen to a book and work on a different device or whatever you may be, there's still, plenty of people out there that need the Orbit Reader or the Victor Stream or whatever for different reasons. I can see the argument for both. I would say if I were ever going to have to buy a device to do audiobooks and things like that with, I would be looking for the Orbit Reader. I wouldn't buy a Victor Stream personally. That's just me personally. Because the money and the feature, to me, it's a very similar device. And obviously the price point is better. Now, if you own no technology, period, at all, and you're going to spend $350 or whatever it is on the Orbit versus $400 on a smartphone, I'd get the smartphone because, but if you are maybe, the nature of your disability or your tech comfort level or your skill level or just your preference level is that you want a physical book player, I would absolutely get the Orbit one. Absolutely. And also, just for those of you that are, accessory like gurus and you love all kinds of different accessories, if you've ever dreamed of having a Bluetooth keyboard, but you really want a Braille Bluetooth keyboard and not a QWERTY setup, the Orbit Rider, it's like 200 and somewhere around 250. I don't remember the exact price. It's somewhere around $250, give or take. All it is a Bluetooth keyboard, but it's got the Braille keyboard configuration. So, like, for me personally, I'm always going to prefer a QWERTY keyboard, especially when I could buy a Bluetooth keyboard for, $30 or 40 or 50 if I want a good quality one. But I know that there are a ton of people out there who prefer the Braille keyboard layout, and they want something small and tiny like that they could take, portably. And if that's you, you need to seriously consider the Orbit Rider. I was extremely impressed with it. And if I were ever going to need a Bluetooth Braille layout keyboard for any reason, it's the one I haven't seen any others like it out there to compete with it. I don't know if there are any others out there, frankly. I don't know. Maybe there are, maybe they're not, but it's pretty lit.
How does it compare with the Hable?
The what?
Is it anything like the Hable?
The Hable one.
Hable one.
Well, I don't know what that is even. What is that?
Oh shoot, that's a handheld Braille keyboard.
All right, you just
the
proved my point. I said I don't know if there's anything else like that out there. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, sorry,
Yeah, there's so
sorry
many
about that.
things.
I completely zoned out. Yeah, it's about the size of a little remote control. I had zoned out because of what was being discussed. I'd zoned out.
who's making it?
I think
Oh shoot.
That's me.
are they just called Hable? I
I
don't
think
know
it
the
is
name.
called Hable. I think the actual company's called Hable. Yeah.
It's so the
I mean, I
keys are
truly don't know anything about it. I can't comment. But while we're on this topic, since somebody's got some more info, tell me about
So
it,
it's
and I
like
might even.
I don't know. So it's a bit of an awkward one because you kind of hold. It's about the size of a remote control, so you kind of hold the sides of it between your hands and then like hold it up vertically and
Yeah.
type on it. And the space and backspace keys, you have to use different key combinations if you want like enter and things.
Okay, now this one has dedicated enter and backspace and like capital
Yeah,
keys.
like
It's
that
like
one.
it's
yeah.
got and so I think it's probably a little bit bigger than that.
The keys are arranged like an actual braille cell. So whereas like on a Perkins or a braille display, your keys are all straight across on the one
Oh,
line.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got one a while back because I was involved in they was like trialing them in the UK, so I was involved in that.
So the braille, the orbit writer, the keys are like across the keyboard, like you'd see on like a braille note
Like a
taker
Perkins.
or a Perkins. Yeah.
know that because the Hable is so clunky
So
to
you said
write
it's
with.
called Hable.
H
Yeah.
A B L E.
Hable. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Victoria could put her Able Hable on the table, but it doesn't need connected with a cable.
Unless I want to charge it, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, you just hand it over to Mabel.
I'm gonna look it up just because it's worth knowing about. You know.
Yeah.
Laurel, we got about. Oh, sorry, Victoria. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's called the Hable one. It's all right. It's just it's quite clunky because of the way the keys are arranged. But yeah, it's.
I would say if you want a Perkins style layout, I'd say the Orbit Writer is better. If you want that. Now, obviously, I don't want to criticize something I have never seen and know nothing of, but
I mean, the Hable is very handheld. It's like just kind of it's pocketable. You just.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's awesome, and like especially if you're out on the go and you just need to quickly and you want to write something with a braille layout, that will boom, you know.
But you can also use your iPhone with braille screen input to
Yes, I have seen
do the same.
And we'll have to talk about this another day, but Braille access coming in the beta or in iOS 26 is going to be interesting. Laurel, we got about 10 minutes, but I wanted to take a minute and talk about you guys sold a lot of items at y'all's booth. What all did y'all have? And I know that Taylor was there selling as well. So you want to talk about what all you guys were able to sell and do at your booth?
Absolutely. So from the foundation side, we had several pre-sorted Lego kits. There's an organization called Bricks for the Blind, and they write Lego instructions in text-based format for blind people to be able to build anything from Star Wars to, if you're into Harry Potter, to even just like flowers and cars and just whatever. The only caveat to that is that their directions require a sighted person to do the sorting, and we know that not everybody has that. So we had some pre-sorted ones that our volunteers put together, and we sold those basically just at cost. So we did that, and then we had a couple other small things. We have a book that is called Rota Roams the World. Rota is my Finnish guide dog from Finland. So we made a children's book about his adventures and travels to support the foundation. But along with that, Taylor with Techopolis sold several really cool items at our booth. Taylor, do you want to talk? I'll punt it to you.
All right, so a couple
That's your
things.
baby.
We have some Learn to Code keychains. So I put a link in chat. You guys can still get them. So they have the words Learn to Code, and they're 3D printed. And I made the model through code. Actually, one of these Tuesdays I did it.
Yes, you did.
Love that.
I remember
That was an
fun.
adventure. And we'll have to probably do that again sometime. But
Mhm.
anyway, so I did it's called Learn to Code. It's got the letters, it's got all of that. And then like I said, the links in chat so you guys can buy from the website. We also have the crosses. So we've got these like Christian crosses and their keychains. And then we also have these Apple Watch stands where you can put your Apple Watch and it can like, that way it doesn't fall over like when it's charging at night. So we've got all of these different products that we sold. We didn't have any of our baskets or other things, but if you guys want any of that stuff, we still have a lot of it available. So, well, not a lot, but we made some new stuff since
Well,
then.
I'm making more as we speak.
Oh, well.
Even some neat glow in the dark product like glow in the dark crosses or watch stands. But we also did a drawing at Laurel's booth, and we had about 16 or 17 registrations for that. And we did a drawing for a HomePod Mini. So if you want a reason to go to convention next year, we're going to do it again. And we'll be doing another HomePod Mini. That was pretty popular, and we had a winner. It was just hearing the clapping after we did that drawing was just so exciting that was able to be done by Techopolis, and people came by to hear what we do and things like that. So it was a wonderful experience for us. And I want to thank Laurel for letting us share her booth and
Well, we want to
that.
thank you guys for volunteering to help us staff the booth because it was awesome. And it was a fun convention too. We were exhausted after, but it was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
we were. And
So-
in the Zoom chat, I threw our store. So if you guys want to look at what we have and if you'd like to buy some of that, it'd be cool.
Hey, let
as
me
well.
just comment. I did look up the Hable one. It's currently being sold for something around $250 or so, somewhere thereabouts. That's a rough number. It's not a perfect number. So essentially, it looks like the price is comparable to that of an Orbit Writer. And as far as features go, Victoria, I'll just have to take your word for it on features and everything else. It sounds to me like if you want a tiny pocket sized and you don't mind like the kind of vertical configuration with a braille cell, it's pretty sweet. If you're looking for more of a Perkins thing, then the Orbit Writer might be for you. But it's really cool to know that there's a couple different kinds of braille Bluetooth keyboards out there. But I did want to throw it out there that I did look it up.
I mean, I've just had a look on Orbit's website, and they're pricing the Orbit Writer as $149.
Oh, they are? Well, that's good. Hey, that's news to me. I knew there was a sale. I didn't know if the sale had ended.
Not
I don't
including
know.
applicable state or federal taxes or anything like that, I'm guessing, because you guys confuse the hell out of me.
Listen, I don't know, but hey, there might be a sale. I think, what's the date today?
It's the 22nd of July.
Okay, the sale might have ended a couple days ago. I don't know. I couldn't remember exactly.
That's okay.
If it's 150, then that's even better. Sweet, but
yeah, just get that next time you want something. I just don't know how portable it is. I mean,
it's small. I can vouch for that. It's very small. Look, I would say my Apple Bluetooth keyboard that I have that like I bought, oh God, like 10 or more years ago. The Apple official Bluetooth keyboard.
Is it the battery one?
The battery operated one, yeah. So
yeah, the double A's.
Yeah. So the old school. I think
I got one of those with my 2010 iMac. Yeah.
Okay, so I bought one of those. Now I have a new one. I had to replace it, but I've got a new one that's now I guess Bluetooth and they were both Bluetooth. Whatever. I can't speak. It's Lightning cable charged. My newer one, but that and the old school one are about the same size. This is smaller than that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you've got a Magic Keyboard, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
So I don't remember the exact size, but I don't think it's as small as the Hable one. But what I'm really getting at is that it's very lap size. Like you could stick it in a large purse or a backpack or what. It's very easy to carry. It felt very easy. It's smaller than the Apple Bluetooth keyboard, I thought.
Yeah.
So it's between the size of a Hable and a Magic Keyboard.
Yeah, that's what I would say, if I'm remembering right. That was my take.
So I've just had a look at it. Looks like it's got a D-pad in the middle of the two banks of keys.
D-pad.
Huh?
What are you calling
like
a D-pad?
Direction pad, because you've got like the circle.
Oh, like
and
the
then
arrows, like the
arrows. Yeah.
yeah,
so
navigation. Yes, it
I'm a
does. It
gamer.
does.
Navigation.
No, sorry,
I'm
you
a
Brits might
gamer.
call it something different than me.
James.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun.
I'm just a man child. I'm just a small boy in an old man's body. I think I'll go
Hey,
back to
there
my
you
Xbox.
go. No, it did have arrow keys. I remember that for sure.
Oh wait, I sold the Xbox.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
It's and then you've got a space bar and then a key either side of the space bar. I'm guessing that's.
I
don't
think
know.
it's going to be maybe backspace and enter.
Oh,
I don't.
Backspace
backspace
and carriage return, right?
Yeah, I think.
So it's pretty much like a Perkins writer, I suppose. So on the writer, you have left side. There's this button which is lifted from the other ones to do the carriage return thing. I mean, to
Yeah.
pass the lines.
I think it's probably about like that, except for basically it's like a braille display without the display part and just the input keys part. Like if you just want that aspect without a big heavy braille display, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
By the way, guys, the merch you have posted, are they going to be shipped anywhere in the world, or will I have to wait till next ACB to come and get them?
Michael, do you want to handle that?
I don't know how we have that set up. We can look at doing that.
I know we can do
I-
US for sure.
Yeah, I know
Dude,
US for sure. I
Dude,
don't
Jay,
know.
Jay, for you, if you get it and send it to my house and we can send you my address privately, bro, I'll just drop it in the mail with a postcard and see if it reaches you.
Thank you. That's fantastic.
Like, so
We
if
have
they
a
don't have
writer.
something official for you, dude, for you personally, no, I can't promise it'll get there. I mean, it might be a little bit of an experiment. If you want to spend $4 or $5 and order something, we can try it. But for you personally, dude, I'll drop it in the mail.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
So we can try it out and find it out. If they don't have it already set up for.
No, I know we don't have international shipping set up because we were gonna just do US until we got our grounds going.
Well,
so.
for you guys too in the UK, like, I'll put it this way: shoot me a message, and I'm willing. Like I said, I do not make you a guarantee it will reach you. Okay, but if you want to order like a $4 keychain or some, Apple's watch stand for whatever the price is, I don't remember what all you guys got.
Yeah, that's
If
what
you-
I'm looking at.
If
The
you want
Apple
to
Watch
try,
stand.
like I wouldn't spend $50, okay? But like if you want to try to order something for all of you international people, if you message me privately, I would be.
And we're going to work on getting the international support set up because I know we have a lot of folks that would like to
Yeah.
buy internationally.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna work on
But
that.
until then, I'm willing to gamble. Look, if you need a buddy who's willing to gamble and see if something will reach you in the mail, I'm willing to play the game. But I make you no
Super.
guarantee, but I'll do my best. I mean, hey.
Super. From
If
your
you-
end, what we all count on is just to post it. So the rest is up to the.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
people who
so
do it.
if you just will pay for the item, and then if you can maybe like, I don't know, like if there's a way for you to send me a couple dollars for shipping or whatever for postage or whatever. But I'll try, dude. I'll try, homie.
We
try to do it for
can. We'll work out something.
Yeah,
I'll try.
give us a week and we'll see
Yeah,
what
I'll
we
take
can
it
do.
to the. I will take it to the post office. I'll post it, and I'll get international tracking, and we'll have a go and see if it works.
Yeah, I can't wait because I love this Apple stand, Apple Watch stand. I
Just
think I'm
don't
gonna
kill
get
me
it.
if it doesn't reach you, dude. I mean, but I'll try, okay? Like, we'll see what happens. I'll try.
Don't worry, you want to kill you, I'll have to come there. So yeah. Don't worry.
I mean,
Oh
if
my
if
god.
you're gonna kill Lauren, then you may as well just like while you're there have a bunch of stuff sent from.
Oh my god.
And then just kind of pick up the stuff, fly back with it, and then just conveniently forget to do the murder.
And hey, you guys in the UK, what part of the UK are you in?
I'm in Bonnie, Scotland.
I knew you were Scottish. I knew it.
Oh, cool.
South of England, but I'm looking to move to Scotland, which is one of the reasons I'm up here at the minute. So.
Hey now. Hey, I'll try and send something to Scotland too if you want. Like I said, I make no, because we all know that I used to live in Finland, okay? And the joke was that like don't ever send something through the post to Finland because it's
Yeah.
50-50 odds if you're ever going to get it. The finished post was notorious for not getting, like, sometimes I got stuff and sometimes I didn't. So we all know it's a game, but I'll try.
I used to send and receive stuff because I've got a bunch of friends in America that I met through retro computing. And I used to send and receive stuff to them all the time. My friend, I got the guts to build a server, so a motherboard, hard drives, another motherboard.
Listen, man, find me and add me on Facebook because I need to talk to you about a couple of projects. It sounds like, oh my gosh.
I got like 2 motherboards, hard drive, and a Nintendo Switch in a care package in 2019. Now that
There
was
you go.
obviously
Seriously, man, will you
COVID.
add me because I want to talk to
What's
you
your
about
name?
some
Laurel,
Laurel, and my last name is Wheeler, Wheeler.
Yeah, I'm the
Well, Jay,
lunatic with
you
hair.
could find her on me and Taylor's profiles.
Lives in Helsinki.
Well, yeah, I haven't updated my city because Facebook's a crapshoot. Trying to do that with a screen reader, it kills me.
You may not know this person. Send requests to people you may personally know. Oh.
Yeah, well, you know me. Look,
I don't like
I
that.
used to live in Helsinki. I've not been able.
That is
I've
a
not
problem.
updated my
That's a
city yet.
bug. That's a bug with Facebook.
Yes.
If they don't think you know somebody, they will not let you add them as a friend, and I do not agree with that.
It's not showing that because do I have Michael? I've got Michael.
I think you do have one.
Okay, bro, if you can't add me as a friend, just shoot me a message and it'll go into my message request and I'll respond and then it'll let us.
Or even send her an email at the Laurel Wheeler Foundation at gmail.com.
Yeah, do it because we need to connect. I want to connect over micro computing.
I wanted to let everybody know that, and be the first to tell y'all that we do have betas today. Michael is very excited because we now hopefully will get our foundation models back.
Wow. iOS.
What's that?
Yep, all new iOS, iPad, Mac, all the betas are out.
Sweet. Well,
Right.
there we go.
I'm just away to sort that out right now.
Yeah.
And just to let you guys know, we are past the 12 o'clock mark.
We are. So, I
Stop
can't wait
recording.
to keep talking about all this stuff next Tuesday. Well, I hope everybody joins us right back here next Tuesday.
All right. Thanks,
Sure, we
guys.
will. All right.
Perfect. Have an awesome week, everybody.
Have a great week.
All right. Bye. See you again on Tuesday.